What do you think, Mark? Any suggestions?
All right. Hello, good evening, everyone. We're gonna start this in a little bit of a different fashion this evening, as this is a rather rare occurrence for this township, which is a meeting of the Vacancy Board. So I'm going to give a brief summary here to kind of kick this meeting off before we formally gavel the meeting into order, which you can see on the agenda. So on February 11th, 2025, the Board of Supervisors acted to accept the resignation of Robin Lindsay from its membership, beginning a statutorily prescribed 30-day timeline to appoint a successor pursuant to the second-class township code. This 30-day time frame having expired on March 13th without a finalized successor being seated, a new 15-day timeline, which expires March 28th, is active, during which this body, the Vacancy Board, must appoint the successor to the Board of Supervisors vacancy. Pursuant the Pennsylvania Second Class Township Code, Article 4, Section 407C, quote, "The Vacancy Board shall consist of the Board of Supervisors and one registered elector of the township, who shall be appointed by the Board of Supervisors at the Board's first meeting each calendar year. The appointed elector shall act as the chairperson of the Vacancy Board." With us this evening, we have our current Board of Supervisors, including Supervisors Thompson, McCormack, and Navarro, along with the annually appointed Vacancy Board Chair, Mr. Dan Mosel, who's in the audience, who was recently unanimously reappointed to this position by the entire Board of Supervisors during their January 6th reorganization meeting. Also joining us this evening in the audience, we have Attorney Tucker Hull, who represents the township as solicitor to the Zoning Hearing Board and other temporary project-specific legal work who has made himself available to assist this board in answering legal questions as they may arise. It is important to note that beginning approximately February 12th through end of business February 21st, the township advertised for and received a total of 14 applications for the vacancy in reference this evening. The Board of Supervisors was previously provided all applications as they were received, and the members had the ample opportunity to independently interview all candidates. The Vacancy Board Chair was also subsequently and similarly provided all applications received. With all that said, as an introduction to this, again, rather rare occurrence in the township, buried deep in the second-class township code, it is, I think, in order at this moment to invite Mr. Mosel up to the dais here, where he can take his seat as chair of this board, and then he will subsequently gavel the proceeding into order, and we can get into it. Thank you.
It's on. We will proceed with the meeting of the Vacancy Board. At this time, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Supervisor McCormack.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
At this time, we will invite public comment. You will be timed. The public comment is for the Vacancy Board only, so please stick to the subject of the vacancy. Thank you. Okay, not seeing anybody for public comment. We will go to supervisor comments.
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of comments. On the 20th, there was an op-ed printed in Penn Live by Supervisor Thompson. She made several claims in that op-ed, and I would like to just touch on a couple of them because I believe they're inappropriate and incorrect. Supervisor Thompson, I like you, and I've tried to get along with you, and you've tried to get along with me. We're very cordial. But you stated, and I quote, you said that this was business as usual of the predominantly white male Republican board. There are three members of the board: an African-American woman, gentleman of Hispanic descent, and me. I'm the white guy. And I can't do anything about that. Yes, I am a man, and yes, I am white. And my mom and dad were happy when I was born that way. Interestingly enough, at the last meeting of the supervisors, when we spoke about replacing the person who had resigned, Robin Lindsay, and I talked to all 14 applicants, interviewed them all. In private, in executive session, we discussed that. And Mr. Navarro and I said that we had arrived at our decision at a certain candidate. She happened to be a female candidate. You arrived at a candidate who happened to be a white male. So while you're complaining about the predominantly white male Republican board, you also were supporting a white male Republican while the white male Republicans were supporting a female. So I think your comment was just a little bit out of line. In addition to that, you said when the board meets Thursday, the Republican supervisors will have already met outside public scrutiny to make their choice. I just want to state for the record that I've not met with Supervisor Navarro, nor Supervisor Thompson, nor even Vacancy Board Chairman Mr. Mosel to talk about any candidate for this position. I believe most people know where my vote was at the last meeting because we went through the process and we seated somebody, and thanks to an abundance of caution, despite the advice of our solicitor, we sat this young lady and then we asked her to not be seated as a supervisor. We worked diligently to come to a date that everyone would be able to be at the vacancy. Several different dates and times were suggested. This was the only time that was deemed appropriate by one member of the board, and we acceded to those wishes. Unfortunately, the candidate that Mr. Navarro and I voted for at the last meeting is out of town on business tonight and won't be here. And that's a shame because I don't know what Mr. Mosel plans to do, but I don't plan on changing my vote. I truly believe she is the best qualified, despite people telling me in private that we don't need another lawyer and we don't need anybody with her financial background. I think we do. So I just want to say one last thing. This op-ed was so firm on transparency and making sure that the residents of Lower Paxton Township knew everything that was going on. Let me tell you something, folks. I'm excited and happy to see you here. I work for you. I have 55,000 bosses, and I wouldn't have it any other way. When I volunteered to do this job, I recognized that my responsibility is to you, not to anyone who sits on this board, not to anybody else, but to you. And for the care of the citizens of the community, and that's what I'm here to do. And there are several significant, real problems facing the Board of Supervisors. And I hope after this vacancy board meeting, we can move on to those. I just wanted to say one thing about transparency. I have here in my phone a voicemail message that was left for me by Supervisor Thompson on March the 10th at 12:02 p.m. And this particular message was a couple of days before the deadline for the supervisors to come to agreement on a candidate. And Supervisor Thompson recommended to me that she and I drive out of state to meet with Mr. Navarro in a private meeting. I had to tell her at that time that 3 supervisors meeting without the meeting being advertised, without it being a public meeting, would be a violation of the Sunshine Act. And in the spirit of Supervisor Thompson insisting that we have full transparency of this meeting and any other meeting, I just want to recommend, call out the fact that it was Supervisor Thompson that asked me to violate my oath of office and violate the Sunshine Act and go out of town to meet with 2 other supervisors to discuss something that should have been done in a transparent fashion in a public meeting, in an open meeting. Those will be the extent of my comments. It's hard when someone is kind to you behind closed doors and solicitous behind closed doors, and then you go to the internet and you read stories that say that you're part of the old boys club and you're an old white guy and you don't have the interests of the community at heart. None of those things are true, folks. And if you talk to anybody that knows me, and I know many people in Lower Paxton Township, they will tell you I'm a straight arrow. I don't have another agenda. I just want to do what's right for the township. Mr. Chairman, that ends my comments.
Are there any other supervisor comments?
I have comments, thank you. I'll just initially address the suggestion to drive to Maryland because our solicitor has told us numerous times that we're able to sit and discuss. We're not vote on anything, but we're able to sit and deliberate. I was trying to do something that was convenient for Mr. Navarro as he's working out of state. I'll leave that alone now. My other comments are regarding the vote to appoint Laura Kurtz. The process to choose an interim supervisor to fill a vacant seat is outlined in the Commonwealth of PA Second Class Township Code, Section 407. It says that the vacancy board will be triggered if the boss refuses, fails, neglects, or is unable to fill a vacancy. I tried to work with Supervisor Navarro and Supervisor McCormick to work out filling the Lindsay spot. I asked them twice at the last board meeting to meet with me to hammer this selection out. They said no. What I did not realize is that they had been given their marching orders to appoint Laura Kurtz by the Lower Paxton Republican Party. Nowhere in Section 407 does it give leave for anyone other than the boss to work through appointment. If we can't then do that, the vacancy board is triggered. We had time to work through this before the vacancy board was triggered. I was asked to meet with the vacancy board, but I asked why, because we had time to work through this appointment. We ran out of time as apparently was designed, and here we sit with Chair Mosel, the vacancy board chair. I suspect former Supervisor Chris Judd was so stressed by the entire extra code process. I can't call it extrajudicial, so I'll call it extra code process. He experienced a health crisis. I am sorry about that. I will not cede my elected duties to anyone else. It was the 3 current supervisors' duty to wrestle with who to appoint. I was unaware until this week that the Lower Paxton Republican Party was interviewing applicants for boss, and that one of their criteria was how much the person could bring to the LP Republican Party to get their support. In this climate, it is necessary for me to say this. I have nothing personal against Laura Kurtz. I do not know her. However, she has shared with me that she would not want to do anything that was against the rules. When we hit law school, well, I won't say we. When I hit law school, one of the things that was constantly hammered into us was to avoid the appearance of impropriety. That's the appearance of breaking the rules. So she has shared with me that she would not want to do anything that was against the rules. Though no one heard it but me, I am challenging her here to honor that letter of the law spelled out in Section 407 and not break the rules by allowing the LPGOP to intervene, interview, and intervene in a process which is solely the purview of boss. Why? Because we are the elected officials. Certain members of the boss cannot be permitted to cede their duties and responsibilities to unelected individuals. Despite my best attempts to ensure some level of fairness, my voice simply does not carry weight against the people who are behind the scenes holding the marionette strings, interviewing applicants to boss. How are they even getting the names of these people and their phone numbers? I have been blamed for causing this meeting to be moved from Wednesday, March 19th at 12:30 to now. I was thinking about our promise to be transparent with our constituents and thought more people would be able to attend at this time, as this is our regular meeting time. I had no idea just how far the lack of transparency went. I had to make a special request to have this meeting recorded. Please keep showing up and let your voices be heard.
Supervisor Navarro, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I think I need to. Just to talk about the transparency. First off, no one gave marching orders. Nobody gives me orders.
Nor me.
Okay. And that's just a fact. Okay. Laura Kurtz was and still is, in my opinion, the best candidate for this position. I think her resume speaks for that. The fact that you have absolutely gone out of your way to try to discredit her and disrespect her and this board is appalling. It's shocking to me. And I'll be honest with you, not only myself, but people in the community have noticed that you are willing to lie, cheat, you're willing to harass people, you're willing to politically intimidate people. You told people on this board and the staff that we needed to cut communications with Ms. Kurtz, yet you continued to text her, right? You texted her, and I believe she would attest to this, questioning her, her education, questioning her abilities, and that's inappropriate. But then you sit here and you write these pieces, and then you say these things in public because nobody has said anything. And I've been very quiet, and I haven't said anything, but this is it. I'm not going to sit here anymore. I'm not going to take it. You send emails out to people, and everything that we do, we have to watch over our shoulder and defend ourselves, because everything that you do, you're trying to catch us in something. You sent me the same message, hey, let's get together, and I said no. And if I don't respond to you, you get upset, right? So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. But what I will venture to say is that I have a theory, since you like to put theories out there that aren't steeped in fact. I have a theory that you came on this board and you're getting exactly what you wanted. You are pushing every single member of the board out so that you can have unfettered power and control over this board and over the township. Because anytime anybody has ever passed, any past chairmen, have tried to, dial you back in, you have gone down this path of destruction and political intimidation, to be quite honest with you. And I'm done taking that. So it's not going to happen anymore. But I will say this, the warning is that, because I like to have a warning for the crowd, right? If we continue to go down this path, no work can get done, and you're going to get exactly what you want, right? You're going to end up with a board, not the public, but the chair or the supervisor will get exactly what she wants, which is a board that she can control. She wants to take the elevator, right? You want to take the elevator from the ground floor from a year ago when you came to the chairperson. That's what I believe, and I think that other people will attest to that. So, this is crossed over harassment, and quite frankly, the texts, calls, emails that we get all day and night, I don't have time for it. So my non-response is a boundary, but it's also me not having time. So thank you.
I just have one thing to add. In Supervisor Thompson's remarks, she said that the chairman of the Lower Paxton Township Republican Party is giving orders to the Board of Supervisors. I reject that entirely, as Mr. Navarro does. The chairman is in the room. I don't want to put him on the spot, but the chairman of the Republican Party in Lower Paxton Township, their job is to look for good Republicans and to interview them for potential candidacies at election time. So what you view as being completely inappropriate is just another Tuesday to them. It's what they do. And no one has told me what to do, Supervisor Thompson.
We will now move to nominations, and the chair recognizes Supervisor McCormick.
Chairman Mosel, as I did a couple of weeks ago, I place a nomination for the position, the open vacancy of the resigned member of the Board of Supervisors. I place the nomination of Laura Kurtz, a local attorney with finance background who is, from both education and experience, in my opinion, the best candidate for the job.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I will ask the secretary to call the roll.
Mr. Navarro?
Aye.
McCormick?
Aye.
Ms. Thompson?
Nay, for the reasons stated. In addition, I have not questioned Attorney Kurt's qualifications, her educational qualifications, what I have said, what I have insisted is because we have 2 supervisors resign, and that was 21 and a half years of experience walk out the door. With the candidate that I nominated, Timothy Pramick, I was trying to get back some of that experience that we did not have here. In addition, we have, normally sitting next to me, Attorney Morgan Madden, and she has the same kind of experience that Attorney Kurtz has. So I was making an attempt, as best I could with my lone vote, to bring some of that experience that we lost when we lost Norm Zumas and Robin Lindsay.
The chair
respect-
proudly votes for Laura Kurtz for supervisor.
With respect, your candidate had no municipal experience. He worked for the gas company for 25 years.
The secretarial recorded vote, please. The vote was 3-1.
Yes, it was.
We will now move to adjournment. The board is finished here.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for attending.
So, I'm sorry, we already adjourned, but I did put some papers over there that announces a shred event that Senator Kim is having. You may want to pick some of those up.
Good job.